Guys, I know I'm going to piss some people off with today's YouTube video, but I want to share it with you. I tell people about this all the time, but I've not shared it with you. I think core training sucks, and it sucks for a very, very good reason. Because people spend way too much time trying to make their core strong. Yes, you've got a bad back. You've got a bad back, you need to strengthen your core. You're not good at sport, but it's because your core's not strong. In the gym, you're struggling to do the squat because your core's not strong. So what do? You spend weeks doing the plank, weeks doing the side plank. You spend all these time on the stability ball, rolling backwards and forwards like a performing seal in the gym, a seal at the circus. Guys, I'll tell you why. There's no point me just saying that core training sucks. I have prolapsed disc in my back years ago. I've worked with many people over the years to help them through back rehabilitation, injury rehabilitation. I've done core training. I've done many years of taking people through the plank, the side plank, all that sort of stuff, and lots of the ball stuff. Guess what the biggest issue with people? The biggest issue with people is they're not strong. And you can't train the core in isolation and expect somebody then to be miraculously good at the back squat. You can't train the core in isolation and expect someone to never ever have back pain. Because the reason why people have back pain is actually a lot to do with structural mechanics. Now, if you've got somebody with a rounded back and you've got somebody with tight hamstrings and you've got somebody with tight hip flexors, but you train the core because that's going to stop their low back from hurting, is rubbish. You need to work on someone's extension of their spine, which means strengthening the extension of the spine. You need to get the glute stronger, which means strengthening the glutes. Every time you deactivate a muscle and then strengthen the opposing weak muscle, you start to adjust posture. Well, then what starts to happen is that the core muscles start to engage in function, in what you do on a day-to-day basis. And do you know what's funny? I was told for years when I was working with professional ice hockey players that all of these guys just need to improve their core strength. They get back issues, they get hip issues. So of course, rightly so, at the beginning of one of the first off seasons I worked with them, they wanted their core testing. Every single one out of a 25-man squad passed every single core exercise, but there were bad backs, but there were herniations in the abdominals, okay? There was groin problems, but it's the weak core. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, let me do what I do. Let me scrap all the core testing. I've been through this over the years. I know it doesn't work. Let me get these guys strong. Turning guys from a 90 kg squat to 180, 190 kg, 2-3 rep squat without any core training. What did I do? I strengthened the glutes. I strengthened the hamstrings in isolation. I strengthened the adductors, the abductors, the quads. I then strengthened the erector spinae, all in isolation. And then they brought these muscle groups into more of compound movement. So I started to teach them Romanian deadlifts, hip extensions. I started to teach them basic movements of the squat and then building that into, say, like a barbell squat when they were strong enough to hold the bar and they weren't starting to collapse and overwork muscles that are facilitating poor posture and then working on muscles that are going to bring their posture back in line. I turned these guys from weak to strong in 5 months. And guess what? The number of injury risks that team dropped by 90% over that first year of working with them. You do not have to walk around my gym and see people doing the plank, the side plank, stability ball. We have a stability ball just to do the odd ab crunch, and training abs in themselves, they're a muscle. Yes, if you want them to be thicker, you got to train them. Okay, they do form a level of stability, especially when you're doing any form of movement. So they do need to engage and work. However, if you did a very base level of core training to get those muscles fired up, that's you done. The rest that you need to focus on is getting the body strong, getting the body up to a point where it functions optimally, where you are in more of a thoracic extended position, where your mid and lower traps are fired up, where your lower lat fibers, your thoracolumbar fascias all engaged in an optimal neutral position. When you squat, when you train, when you press, when you row, these muscles are all firing right. So what we're really looking at, and I remember having a great discussion with Professor Stuart McGill, who's one of the world's leading authorities on back health. that the number one thing that people need to be doing to be strong and avoid back pain and avoid hip pain and knee pain is to get strong. So the reason why I think core training sucks is because too many people are telling you that the route to fixing your back is fixing your core. The route towards fixing your hips or any problems around your pelvic area is to strengthen your core. The route to getting stronger in sport is to strengthen your core. It's crap. You need to get strong. And I'm not just saying that you need to get strong and just turn it into a meathead in the gym. You need to focus on getting all your muscles strong and building them into compound movements so that your body as a unit is functioning all together. So my belief is that this needs to be scrapped. This word core needs to be scrapped. We want to make the body as a functional, full, strong unit. And that is the route to people having less pain and less injuries. So get strong and stop obsessing over the core.